This is NBK, nothing but Knicks. When Sim passed the assist, you know that it's number one show that breaks down the game. If you can't play defense, stay out my way. Dribble the ball, come down the lane. 5 seconds on the shot clock, who gon' win us the game? You wanna hear Nick updates and trade rumors? Postgame reviews, this the place you tune in. So tell a friend just to keep the ball moving. Like the page if you feeling the movement. Every game we coming to win. Give us a sub like a player that came off the bench. This is NBK, nothing but Knicks.
Knicks family, what's poppin'? It's your boy. Ladies and gentlemen, the Knicks take a bad loss tonight to the Orlando Magic. I don't even know if there's any other way to say it. They take a bad one. Like I said to International Andy on the game preview, the Knicks won't make this easy. They won't make it easy, ladies and gentlemen. We got a special guest in the house to talk about this because, let's go ahead and just bring him in here. You know what I mean? Want to find out how he's feeling about this game here, ladies and gentlemen, because I don't know what to say. I'm upset. I ain't gonna front. I'm upset. Just terrible play, terrible defense. The Knicks can't get right for some reason right now. They can't get right for some reason right now. Let's get him in here, man. Special guest. What's popping with you, my brother? What's going on? What's going on?
Black is time. Shout out to the chat. This is how I'm feeling, Sim.
Yeah.
Knicks and bruises. I knew they was a team that we don't favor well against. But this game right here, man, this was disgusting.
It was. It was bad. It was bad. They lose 111 to 106. The score is closer than the way that I feel. They should have got this. It's closer than the way that I feel. I knew it was going to be a tough game, right? Second night of a back-to-back. Playing a team that I don't feel the Knicks match up well against. But you got to get this kind of win. You got to get it, ladies and gentlemen. The Knicks didn't do that tonight. They lost to the Orlando Magic, 111 to 106. So, they got to get the bag face tonight. They got the bag face tonight, ladies and gentlemen. I don't know. Your assessment, Tony. Your assessment of the game.
Well, luckily, I didn't get to watch it. I listened to
Right.
it. I was at work, so I listened to the whole game. I watched the fourth quarter. But, it's tough because, like I said, I knew this young team always gives us problems. Like, you date back to last year, they gave us problems. And I knew they would, but even still, like, once I heard Brunson was out, I didn't think we was going to win, to be honest.
Yeah, and you know what's crazy? Tonight, I feel like we felt the absence of Brunson more than usual. You know what I'm saying? I just felt like more than usual we felt the absence of Brunson. Especially in the first half, just crazy. Emmanuel Quickly and Josh Hart not on the same page, throwing the ball out of bounds. We're trying to pass it to each other. I think Quickly did that 2 or 3 times tonight. Or at least him and another player in a passing transaction ended up throwing the ball out of bounds. You know what I mean? Randle had some fire in the first half. After he got the technical, when they came back from halftime, he didn't really have much fire in the third quarter. Had a little bit more fire in the fourth quarter. You know what I mean? But, the technical kind of took down his fire. I don't know. this just a bad game for the Knicks, in my opinion.
I mean, bright spot, Grimes, 2 consecutive games, like really knocking down that three ball.
True. Grimes, has played well for the last couple of games. He needed some people to play with him. I mean, Randle ended up having a decent stat line. Didn't really shoot well from the field, but a decent stat line. R.J. Barrett didn't do much out there tonight. Emmanuel quickly started off really bad, picked it up, but the Knicks couldn't get stops. They could not get the stops that they needed. They tied the game in the third quarter. They got to within 2 in the fourth quarter, and they couldn't get stops. Every time the Knicks got that close, Orlando knocked down a big three. And it was time and time again, knocked down a big three. You know what I'm saying? Knocked down a big mid-range shot. Every single time.
And then that fourth, what I did get to see is every time we hit a three, they came back and hit a three.
Yeah.
Every single time.
No doubt. Every single time. We hit a three, they hit a three. They had the answers for the Knicks every single time down the stretch of the game. And the Knicks just couldn't find they couldn't get the stops. I kind of boil it down to that. They could not get those stops that they needed, to take the game over. So now they put themselves in a situation, right? Now they have to. They're just 1.5 games above the Miami Heat, right? They are a game and a half. Wait a minute. They're 1.5 games above the Miami Heat. They're still 2 games above Brooklyn because Brooklyn lost tonight, right? But then if the Knicks don't get it done against Houston, they're setting themselves up for, basically a playoff battle, right, against the Miami Heat next week. If they don't get it done against, it's going to be a playoff battle anyway. So the Miami Heat and Brooklyn, they play on Saturday. If Miami wins that game, they're going to leapfrog Brooklyn and be just 1 game behind the Knicks. And then if the Knicks lose to Houston, they'll be just a half of a game above Miami, and then that game against Miami will become, whoever wins is in the 5th seed. So, yeah, the Knicks put themselves in a situation. They're still in the driver's seat, right? They just got to figure out, do they want to stay in the driver's seat? But they're still in the driver's seat.
That's right. Control their destiny.
Right. They still control their destiny. All they got to do is win basketball games. And that game next week against the Miami Heat is going to be one of the tougher ones this season. There's no doubt about that. That's going to be a barn burner. You know what I mean? But just looking at the game, man, they couldn't stop the pick and pop. I don't know how many times at the top of the key, Wendell Carter Jr. knocked down the 3 from the top of the key off the pick and roll, pick and pop. Julius Randle had some trouble with Banchero. I knew he would have some trouble with Banchero. It's not the first time that he's had trouble with Banchero. Banchero tonight, 21 points, 6 rebounds, 4 assists. He didn't shoot great. He was 41% from the field and 50% from the 3-point line. Julius Randle, 23 points, 9 rebounds, 4 assists, 35% from the field and 22% from the 3-point line. On a night when you don't have Jalen Brunson, you need Julius Randle to be able to impose as well, because even though you got points from Quentin Grimes points are not, he doesn't draw a double team. All of his points come from kickouts, somebody finding.
He eats off the double team.
Right. He eats off the double team. You know what I mean? Somebody finding him open in the fast break. He doesn't draw a double team. Emmanuel quickly, he gets his points. He doesn't really draw a double team, but he does get inside the paint. Right? Yet still, he gets so he gets his points that way, but he's a heavy dribbler. So when he's penetrating and getting inside, everything stops. It's kind of the same way with Jalen Brunson, except Jalen Brunson, I think, makes a quicker decision as to whether or not he's going to shoot it or pass it. Emmanuel quickly, his decision, he's dribbling, and then finally, let me get it up. You know what I'm saying? And so then things kind of stall. And that's what it was like tonight with Emmanuel quickly. So without Julius Randle really being effective with his scoring, the fourth quarter he was, but throughout the game he wasn't that effective. I thought my Orlando did a good job of really crowding him when he got the ball inside. You know what I mean? Just really putting a lot of people around him to make it tough for him to get a shot up, and really have to kick it out. And then the Knicks weren't hitting the three to begin the game.
Yeah, and the Wagner kid, boy.
Yeah, Franz Wagner, man, that kid, he can ball, no doubt about it. He's a hooper, man. I keep saying Miami. Orlando got a good one in him. They have a nice young squad. There's no doubt about it. Right? They really do have a nice squad.
And his brother and his effort, you know what I mean? Like he reminds me of Hartenstein, you know what I mean? Like he got skill set, but he ain't the best at anything, but he just play hard every play.
Right.
All the time.
Right. Yeah, tough one, man. The Knicks on the night shoot 42% from the field. Right? 30% from the 3-point line, I think it is. Just not a good night all the way around for the New York Knicks. They took 43s on the night. All right, 88 shots. They took 43s. They shot 76.9% from the free throw line. 26 assists. 13 turnovers. A lot of those turnovers in the first half when they, were just throwing the ball around, not taking care of the basketball. Tough one, man. Really is a tough one. I hate any loss, but I hate these type of losses. You know what I mean? I hate these type of losses. I don't know what to say. You're supposed to beat this team here. You know what I mean? You're supposed to beat it. Hopefully they feel it. They understand it. They know it. And they go back. They're going to get 3 days of rest, come back to New York ready to ball, man. You know what I mean? And understand where they are in the standings and all of that stuff. Go ahead, Tom.
I wanted because I didn't really, like I said, I got to listen, but I didn't really get to see the game. What did we get from McBride and RJ Barrett?
I mean, RJ, 10 points tonight for RJ Barrett. You know what I mean? He wasn't, I don't know. I don't know.
He was bad, Tony.
I don't know. He just, he had a couple of decent plays, but for the most part, he struggled. You know what I mean? For the most part, he struggled tonight. It was a tough one. Some bad turnovers. Spinning. Trying to spin from the wing to get into the lane, turning his back to the basket. When someone comes from behind and knock the ball out. You know what I mean? It was a tough one for RJ, in my opinion. So he really didn't give the Knicks much. I think maybe early in the first quarter he gave him a little bit, but he didn't really give the Knicks much in a way that it impacted the game, in my opinion.
And Deuce?
Neither did Deuce. Neither did Deuce. I think Deuce knocked down, one. Maybe he knocked down a 3 tonight. But he didn't do much.
One of my issues is it seems like, and it may be the truth for Deuce too, but it seems like we're quickly when he gets inserted into that starting lineup, it takes him a couple of days to find his setting.
Mm-hmm.
And you know what I mean? But once he finds his setting, he's fine. You know what I mean? But it takes him at least a game or two to find his footing in that first unit. And then the same about the bench unit. It takes away from the bench unit, and then Deuce, it takes him a couple games to kind of find his rhythm and his setting.
Right.
When he's elevated to the second unit. So my question is, maybe and I expect Brunson to be back, but if Brunson's out, maybe in certain roles into the starting unit and keeping quickly and everything else, the bench in place. Maybe that would be a option. Just to not to up. I don't think it changes anything with the first unit if you give Rose a couple minutes there, and obviously the second unit could keep that balance.
Mm. Yeah, I mean, I don't know if he's going with Rose at this point. To be honest with you, I don't think he is. I think he's just going to stick with the group that he's rocking with. I mean, but this is a game. This is a game, in my opinion, that you're supposed to win. We knew it was going to be tough, but you're supposed to win. You're supposed to grind that one out and be like, whew, we got past that one. You know what I'm saying? They're supposed to grind this one out. They have enough to win. They have enough talent to win the basketball game. The energy wasn't fully there, in my opinion. It came and went in spurts. But for the most part, it came down again, though, to getting stops down the stretch. They couldn't get stops down the stretch. Time after time after again, time after time after time, again, they knocked down a three or a big mid-range pull-up or, whatever it was. Pick and pop at the top of the key. They knocked it down. They couldn't get those stops. You know what I mean? The defense got sucked into the paint. And, I'm watching. I may even do a video breakdown on it. One of the biggest problems that this team has with getting sucked into the paint, and, of course, this has been going on for years, is that they don't make the rotation soon enough. Or, like, the ball will be on one side, and they're on the weak side, and they're sucking into the paint, right? And one of the biggest threes of the game, the ball was on the opposite side of the floor, and RJ was sucked all the way into the paint, and they skipped it over to Cole Anthony, and he knocked down the three. There was no reason for him to be that deep into the paint when the ball was on the opposite side of the floor. He could have been one or two steps closer to Cole Anthony, and they probably wouldn't have thrown the cross-court pass. You know what I'm saying? Another play where I think it was Boncaro who knocked down the three in the corner, right? The ball was on the wing. Mitch was on the same side. The ball started to swing, I believe. Well, first it started on one side. The ball started to swing over. And instead of, like, rotating with the ball, and now when the ball is on the wing, you're already, 2 steps closer to Boncaro. He was still in the paint. And the ball is out on the wing. You know what I mean? If he was 2 steps closer to Boncaro, he wouldn't have got the three off.
And to me, I seen both of those plays. The Mitch play I would be less upset with, just because, I mean, granted, you're right, but it's probably just because he's a big and that's the mentality. Mm-hmm. And sure. The contest was very close there still with Mitch, with his long arms. I thought he was gonna get a tip block on that one. But the RJ one, I saw that play too, and he was deep. He was damn near under the basket.
Yeah, it's like, why are you so like the ball is on the other side of the court? Why are you so deep into the paint? You don't need to be. And it resulted in wide open threes down the stretch of this basketball game. And Orlando tonight ended up shooting the three 40.6%. They weren't through the third quarter, as the Knicks were coming back, they weren't shooting the three well. Neither were the Knicks. But because these threes were open, they end up shooting the ball well. So this has been 3 games in a row where teams have shot over 50%, and then the Orlando Magic 40% from the three-point line. And, I mean, it feels like, and we'll see if it continues, but teams are saying, swing it and make the extra pass. Swing it and make the extra pass because they stay in the paint. They hang in the paint. If you make the extra pass, they're not going to be able to get out there. You mean? And this has been happening for the past couple of games. And then when teams have three-point shooting big men like Wendell Carter Jr., they struggle. They struggle. I mean, Wendell Carter Jr. tonight, he was 2 for 5 from the three-point line. I believe both of them came from the top of the key. Right? The Knicks got chewed up in that play, that pick and pop from the top of the key. Bad loss from the Knicks tonight, man. Bad loss from the Knicks. You know, they had to get the bag face tonight. You know what I mean? Nikki B from Harlem said Obi was a minus 25. RJ was a minus 15. McBride was a minus 12. Hart was a minus 10. That's why we lost. Our bench was trash. Randle was a game high plus 20. I mean, if you're looking at those numbers, true, right? But, there was a point in the game where Randle wasn't really effective. He wasn't hitting his shot. So he wasn't really that effective at certain points in the game. He was very effective in the fourth quarter. Hit a couple of big threes, took the ball to the basket, really did help the Knicks get back into the game. So I don't think anyone is blaming Randle for the loss. It was a total team effort of losing the game. You know what I mean? Bad defense. I mean, that's the biggest thing that you can say right now. Not getting the stops that you need to get to win the game. And this has been going on for at least the last 3 games. Not getting the stops that you need down the stretch. If you got to win basketball games, you got to get those stops. You know what I mean? They didn't get stops against Minnesota, Miami, and Orlando. The Knicks were supposed to go 3-0, or we thought they could go 3-0 in this stretch. They end up going 0-3, and now they have another young team coming in on Monday with Houston. Now the Knicks are going to be more rested. They should be better motivated for that basketball game, knowing the stakes. But tonight they get the bag face. They get the bag face tonight. You know what I'm saying? Tony, I think you should draw a Knicks and Bruisers logo on that joint. You know what I mean? You should draw a Knicks and Bruisers logo on that joint.
Sim, they're already in production.
Okay. Yeah.
They're gonna be for sale.
Yeah. You know what I'm saying? So, Big Bubba, what's going on, man? And try to stay still because I don't want your beard all up in my ear.
I got you. What's going on, Tony?
And shout out to Nikki B for the super chat. I didn't say that earlier. Shout out to you. I appreciate you, my brother. Go ahead, Big Bubba.
Yeah, to be honest with you, though, so I'm actually really pissed off. I ain't gonna hold you. Like, this one got me upset. I'm actually really mad. I haven't been this mad since the Mavericks game. And I was more dumbfounded in the Mavs game than pissed off. I mean, I watched the whole game tonight, man. It was just... We've been talking about it for years. The 3-point defense is just like... It's known now. Like, besides that one-off season of, we won 41 games, the Knicks just haven't guarded 3. We have this philosophy that's going to live and die by Thibs, apparently. And
even in that season, well, let's put it like this. Even in that season, the Knicks, there were still complaints about, the Knicks giving up open 3-point shots. And the argument then was that the Knicks defense was so aggressive that it made the opposing teams rush their shots. You know what I mean?
Yeah. And now,
go ahead.
No, and now, Sim, it's like literally what you said. The extra practice is killing us. Like that 3 on. So how much I love RJ, man, but I just almost broke my TV Because I'm like, what are you
Don't do that.
doing?
Listen. Don't break your TV. You can't
I
afford
know,
another
man.
one at this point in time. We
Oh my
both know
God,
why.
son.
All right.
Son.
We both know why.
Anyways,
But I will say this. The Knicks are 7th in the league in holding teams to low 3-point percentage. Those are the stats. 7th.
those can be the stats, but right now, man, it's just
Right
it
now,
ain't working.
I know right now over the last 3 games, but the Knicks, when you look at the entirety of the season, they're 7th in the league at holding teams, to low 3-point percentage.
Yeah, I mean, I get it. It's just, right now, it just.
That number is 35.2%. All right, the best in the league are the Pelicans. They hold teams at 33.8%. Los Angeles, 34%. Philadelphia, 34%. Denver,
Which Los Angeles?
34%. Los Angeles Lakers. Denver, 34.7%. Milwaukee, 34.8%. Dallas, 34.9%. The Knicks, 35.2%.
It's just right now, it just really, it's frustrating because it's like we're just playing. Like, it's for me, I'm not even worried about the points because we're scoring enough points. It's the defense that's just been just terrible. It's like these last 3 games, it's like this has probably been the worst defensive stretch for the Knicks. Even the 5-game losing streak.
Yeah,
it wasn't that
it's
bad.
been a rough defensive stretch, and so I don't want to take this stretch and make it like it's the entire season, though. That's the reason why I threw that out there, because the Knicks are 3rd in opponents' field goal percentage in the league. Memphis Grizzlies hold teams to 45%. Milwaukee hold teams to 45.1%, and the Knicks hold teams to 45.9%. So we got to look at it during this stretch, right? Opponents' points per game. The Knicks are 13th in the league in opponents' points per game. All right, they give up 112.8 points per game. So we got to look at it during this stretch, but the Knicks have got to do better.
Yes,
because we're getting to the stretch of the season now.
I mean, Sam, you're literally 7 games now left.
7 games left.
I mean, I'm.
I can't hear you. I don't know what happened. I can't hear you. Tony, can I hear you, Tony?
Mic check.
Yep, I can hear Tony. Can't hear you. See, that's what happens.
You can't.
Huh?
You can't hear me?
Oh, now I can. I don't know what happened. That's what happens when you go to like Family Dollar to buy headphones. Go to Best Buy and get some real ones.
These are real iPhone headphones,
You're messing up the show, man. You're messing up the show. People don't come here to hear you get cut off because of your cheap headphones.
These are good headphones, man. But anyways, so it's really, it's just really frustrating because right now it's just the way we're looking down the stretch, man. It just, I thought would be a lot better. This one really, this is the second worst loss of the season. The Mavs game is the worst. That was bad. But this is the worst one because it just, I'm frustrated because you have to beat these teams. Thank God the Nets lost tonight. Thank God they lost. So we're pretty much dead even in the standings with them. But Miami's coming.
Well, we're not dead even with the Nets. We're above the Nets.
Well, no, I'm not saying that's why I'm happy they lost tonight. So it kind of didn't affect nothing per our standings.
Okay.
But you just want to finish better with this. Because like I said, this is just bad defense and yeah, we gotta tighten some things up.
Yeah. Well, what do we do to tighten it up? Let's talk about that. How do we tighten up the defense? What are the things the Knicks need to do? Because, they come into these games and, they've done a good job all season holding teams to low fast break points. Now they're giving up fast break points, right? They've done, we just read off the stats. They're holding teams to, the third best field goal percentage in the league. The Knicks are holding teams to the third worst field goal percentage in the league. Let's say that. They're holding teams to the seventh worst 3-point percentage in the league. Right? So what is it right now? What is happening right now that is leading to the Knicks these last 3 games? Is it just a bad stretch? Tony, I'll come to you. Is it just a bad stretch, or is there something happening strategically?
One of the things that I think, or that I've noticed, is offensive rebounding. We're still good there, but we haven't been converting them into points. So a lot of times we're getting 2, 2, 3, whatever second opportunities, but then when we don't convert, it ends up being a transition on the other side because it's a scramble mode type situation most of the time for those especially the deep rebounds. You know what I mean? So a lot of the times when we don't convert, and then it ends up being another rebound that the other team gets, they end up going and getting the transition basket or transition 3. So, you know what I mean? I think that's hurting us. That's one thing that's hurting us, just not converting those second chance points or just baskets in general, where now they don't got to take the ball out. We don't got our defense set. We're scrambling on that other end.
Yeah. What about the amount of 3-point shots the Knicks have been taking? Because 3-point shots lead to long rebounds.
That too.
Right?
That too.
Yeah, and that's something that can jumpstart your fast break. So if you're shooting a low percentage from the 3-point line, you're going to have a higher number of long rebounds, which can, like I just said, jumpstart a team's fast break. Now, if the Knicks are shooting the ball well, cool. But the other night against Miami, the Knicks were 16. They made 16 out of 40 3-pointers, right? For a decent percentage. Right? They had a decent percentage, but they still missed a lot of. You're still talking about missing 24 threes, right? If you're 16 for 40, that's still 24 threes that you missed, which means, let's say, half of those are long rebounds, right? You're giving the defense a chance to jumpstart that fast break by catching the ball at the top of the key, or free throw line extended. You know what I mean?
And to be honest, I think those are the rebounds we miss the most. Like, we don't get those. You know what I mean?
Right.
Like those free throw line extended. Even though our guards quickly are good rebounders, you know what I mean? I feel like we miss a lot of those deep ones. You know what I mean? If the ball's in the paint, I think we got a good chance of getting that offensive rebound, whether it's Mitchell Robinson, Randle, you know what I mean? Like, even our guards down there in the paint. But when it's the long ones, those are the ones we miss. Shout out to my boy Brian. I was talking to him before the game, and he said the same thing. I feel like I feel like the Knicks should take less threes. I'm like, oh, you should call him to the show. He's a Bulls fan.
Yeah.
He's a Bulls fan, but he always watched the Knicks games because
right.
you know what I mean. We talk about him. So, yeah, I think the threes is a real correlation as well.
Yeah, I agree. I think they are. I think that's one of the correlations to the teams all of a sudden being able to fast break on us. You know what I mean? When, it hadn't been happening for most of the season, but the last, I don't know how many games, the Knicks have really been shooting the heck out of the 3 ball. You know what I'm saying? They've just been, they've been launching it. You know what I mean? Offensive rebounds, they're shooting the 3. You know what I mean? They get a turnover, instead of, if nothing's there, they're pulling a 3. It's been ridiculous sometimes. I'm like, come on, man. Pull it, get it together. Let's get a good shot.
Sam, there was in this game, it was a point where even Mike Breen was like, this is horrible to watch. Because, like, literally they'll just go shoot a 3, and it's just like, it was just bad. But I will say this, though, and shout out to Josh. He had a solution, and I agree with him.
You said he had what?
he has a solution.
Okay, what's that?
Move the ball. And I mean, move the ball. I see too many times, though, Sim, during games where I feel like the Knicks just are playing about a three, watch one guy, just do ISO and then kick it out. Again, this team to me has the players to move and cut, get to the rim, get a foul, you get fouled or something like that. It's too much where it's not going where it has to be and everything. So, it's really frustrating because they're just not moving the ball. They're not moving themselves.
Don't say not move the ball because most of those threes come from ball movement.
Yeah,
right.
They're not moving. They're not moving themselves,
threes,
and that's the tough part. And taking less threes, I think, would be a lot better because I think that approach worked well for RJ during this little mini stretch where he was like, "I'm not okay. Stop shooting threes. Get to the paint. Get to the rim. Convert those shots." I think the Knicks need to take that philosophy through all of them because right now it's just like, no, you can't just keep shooting threes. You just right now you just can't because it's not hitting.
I mean, again, I don't know if ball movement is the reason why the Knicks are getting these open threes and they're taking them, right? I mean, they did have 26 assists tonight, right? I guess it's the other man movement. If you want more man movement, you want more people diving to the basket. I get that. You know what I mean?
I think they had 29 last night too.
Yeah. They've had a high number of assists. I don't know. But I'm talking about solutions to the defense, not to the offense.
Oh, I mean that to me, Sim, that's more of I think you said it best. Stop being so deep into the paint. Like I think for the Knicks, and this has been I really do get what they want. His defensive philosophy is to, not give up points in the paint. But man, you gotta give something up, man, because right now, these last three games, you had the Timberwolves who had, no disrespect, they had nobody that was major on the team, shot 60% from three. Then you have Miami Heat, who literally are below 3-point shooting team, shot 50%.
Mm-hmm.
And then you had the Magic, who average 10 threes a game, shoot 47% from three. Like this, I can understand the Minnesota game. That's an anomaly, right? That happens to every team. There's a team that they're just scorching hot. You can't do nothing about it. They had literally one player that shot perfect 8 for 8. So you can't do nothing about it. But man, Sam, you got to do something because now this is concerning when it comes to 3-point shooting, where these teams that are not good 3-point shooting teams are just killing us.
Well, is it concerning for these three games? I guess obviously these 3 games has been bad. We've got to see if it continues. You know what I mean? Because for the season, like I said, they've only allowed 35% from the 3-point line for the season.
That's nice, but the paper ain't gonna play defense.
Will you listen?
The stats not.
Listen. I mean, clearly they've been able to do some things this season, right? They're 5th in the Eastern Conference, so they've been able to do some things this season. Clearly, right? Have they had games where they've given up high numbers in 3-pointers? Oh, yes, they have. So right now, there's a trend going on. Let's see if it continues. Hopefully, they shore it up. I mean, I don't want to say that they've had like the 13th best defense in the league for the season. That's about where they are, I believe. Right? They fluctuate. Sometimes they're playing great defense. The thing for me is the consistency with this team. Sometimes they're playing great. Sometimes they're not playing great. Now they're having an issue where over these past 3 games, the Knicks have been 6th in the league for the season in opponents' fast break points. Right? 6th in the league. Well, over the last few games, teams have been able to break on the Knicks. Right? If you look at the last 3 games, The New York Knicks are in fast break points 26th in the league in fast break. Oh, wait a minute. Let me get that right. Get that right. Over the last 3 games, they're 17th in fast break points. Opponents' fast break points. Right? Now, some of that does come from shooting a high number of threes, which I think is leading to long rebounds, which is leading to fast breaks. Shooting less threes, especially if you're not making them, could help to stop some of those fast break points. Also, at least 2 of those games against Miami and Minnesota were both high-tempo games. I don't think the Knicks play well in high-tempo games. So I think that's been an issue. I think maybe teams are saying, hey, let's push the pace. Let's push the pace. Let's see if we can score. Let's see if we can outscore them. Don't let them be physical against you. Get the ball out and go, right? That's the thing I had to watch the game on NBA TV. So I'm listening to Orlando's broadcast, and they continuously said, this team is physical. They're physical. They're physical. They're physical. That's what they kept talking about. How do you negate physicality? Run away from them. Get the ball out and let's go. I think teams are trying to push the pace. Push the score up, see if the Knicks can score with you. You know what I mean? So I think teams are trying to do that against the Knicks, which is forcing the Knicks to play at a faster pace, which is forcing more fast break points, which is also forcing allowing more threes and more open threes. When you push that pace, it's easier to get open threes because you got the defense on their heels. You know what I mean? So I think it's more than just, them, playing inside is part of it, but I think there's a lot of pieces to it than just that. That's not the only thing, in my opinion. You know what I mean? Tony, you was getting ready to say something.
I was just gonna double down on my last point because teams know, number one, we're a good rebounding team. We're a good offensive rebounding team. So if that's the focus, you know what I mean? Don't let them get these offensive rebounds. And once you get that rebound, like to your point, push the pace. You know what I mean? Because now they in scramble mode. So you taking away a strength of ours. Every time you get that, you secure that rebound,
Right.
And then if you're pushing it right away, you know what I mean. You playing to a weakness of our with the not for the season, but as of late, the transition. You're getting those transition points, which you're usually good at, but we're good at it because you're taking the ball out because we're getting second and third opportunities
exactly
and scoring. Like again, if you're looking at who we are as a team, they're saying this team doesn't shoot well. So if you secure that rebound, you're taking away. Like that's how they're beating. That's how we're beating teams. We're getting second chance opportunities, and even though we're not shooting well, we're having more opportunities. You know what I mean? Same thing with the 3. We don't shoot the ball well, but we shoot a lot of them. We shoot enough of them that it becomes effective because of how many we made, even though it was a bad percentage.
Right.
So if you're taking away our extra opportunities, you know what I mean, and we're not shooting the ball efficiently, we're like dead in the water.
Right. And then you add that on top of when we are in the half court, the Knicks protect the paint and guys aren't rotating correctly. You know what I'm saying? So now at least there's some half court 3-point shots open as well.
Can I say something?
Hold on 1 second. To your point, right? The Knicks for the season are 3rd in the league in rebounding, right? At 46.7 rebounds per game. All right, they're 3rd in the league in offensive rebounding at 12.6 rebounds per game. All right, 3rd in the league in offensive rebounding. Over the last 3 games, offensive rebounding, the Knicks are 13th in the league over the last 3 games in offensive rebounding at 9.7. Defensive rebounding, the Knicks are 18th in the league at 30.3. And overall, over the last 3 games, the Knicks are 19th in the league in rebounding, right? And that's because, one, teams are shooting the ball well. The Knicks have shot the ball well in 2 of those games, except for the Orlando game. The other team is shooting the ball well, but if opponents are getting those defensive rebounds and not allowing the Knicks to get offensive rebounds, they can jumpstart their fast break. They can get going, take away the Knicks' physicality. So that may be an emphasis of teams right now. Make sure you're go to the glass, grab rebounds, get the long rebounds. They shoot a lot of threes. Get the long rebounds, right? Over the last 3 games, the Knicks they've shot the ball 38.9% from the three-point line over the last 3 games, 36 threes. So tonight it was 40 threes, but still, you shoot 36, you make 14, you still missed 22 threes, which gives you a chance, gives opposing teams a chance to get out and run a little bit.
And just like the Magic, we both weren't shooting the ball well early. You know what I mean? So like those percentages are really late in the second half, I guess.
Right.
You know what I mean? Late in the third and the fourth quarter.
Yeah. It's tough. I don't know. For the season, opponents have been rebounding at a clip of 42.4 rebounds per game versus the Knicks. Defensive rebounds, opponents 31.9, right? And that's a low number, right? The Denver Nuggets are number 1 at holding opponents to, a low number of rebounds. They're number 1 in the league. The Knicks are 7th. The Denver Nuggets give up 30.3 defensive rebounds. The Knicks 31.9. Right? But over the last 3 games, let's see what that is. I'm sure that number is probably different. Actually, over the last 3 games, I don't know, Tony. Over the last 3 games, the Knicks are I guess we got to do defensive rebounds. The Knicks are number 8 in opponents grabbing defensive rebounds. All right, 29.7, and they're number 1 in opponents grabbing rebounds overall at 35.3. The defensive rebounds, let me see, number 8 over the last 3 games. For the season, opponents' rebounds, the Knicks are number 7, so it's about the same. But that number 8, I will say this. Over the last 3 games, the Knicks are allowing opponents to have 35 rebounds over the last 3 games, 35 rebounds. For the season, they only allow 31. So that's 4 more rebounds, which is a lot, which could be a lot.
And what's the second chance points? Because even if we're still getting the offensive rebounds, if we're not converting on them, you know what I mean? All that is extra possessions, empty possessions.
Right. Give me. I'll look up those second chance points. Isaiah, go ahead. You wanted to jump in there and say something.
I think Randle got to play a lot better defense. I'll be honest with you. He just hasn't been good. It's been a while. He hasn't been good defensively. He misses a lot of his assignments a lot of the times, especially when it comes to rotations. And it's not just all him, because right now it's just been the whole defense. But as a leader, as I expected someone to be more of a two-way player, he has to play better defense. And today was just an ugly game for him, especially with that whole tech thing today. That was just weird, and him almost fighting quickly and getting upset. He's, again, I think the ugly side of Randle's showing up a little bit more lately. And I get he's frustrated with the ticky-tack fouls and everything like that. The refs haven't been making it any easier.
So I didn't see him get ready to fight quickly. When did that happen?
At the first half, when the Knicks were making a comeback, he got very upset because he didn't get the call.
You mean at the end of the half?
Yeah.
At the end of the half, when he got hit, he didn't get the call. He went to go towards the ref and quickly held him.
Yeah, he got upset that quickly.
And told him, get off me, stuff like that.
Yeah, he got upset quickly.
I mean, all right, I think that's blown out of proportion, but go ahead. I do. I think that's blown out of proportion. I mean, I think
I got to disagree with you.
I think you see
him, I don't give him the benefit of the doubt.
I guarantee you, if you watch a whole slate of NBA games, you will see that 3 or 4 times a night where a player is holding their teammate back and the player pushes them off and say, "Get off me! I got it. I'm good."
I'm gonna be honest with you.
I guarantee you.
I can't. I don't see it because
you're not gonna see it on ESPN. If you go and watch every single game in the NBA on any given night, you will see that same thing happen. I guarantee you multiple times.
Not more than Randle.
Okay.
Like no, but Sammy, I mean, you laughing at it, but
I'm just saying
he has a history of doing this.
He's not fighting Emmanuel quickly. That's what people are trying to make it like. He's fighting Emmanuel quickly. He's not fighting him. He's saying, "I got it. Get off me." That happens a lot.
Sammy, you do this for Randle every time.
I'm not doing it for anyone. I think it's blown out of proportion. He's not fighting Emmanuel quickly. I think that's, people are going to say that because they don't like him. There's still people that don't like him. I don't think he's fighting Emmanuel quickly. I don't think he's fighting him.
It's the narrative. It's the narrative.
No, Tony. We can't keep seeing somebody doing this and calling it a narrative. We can't keep doing that. We can't say it's a narrative when it's not. He does it.
Yeah.
Nobody's saying he doesn't do it. But to say that he's fighting, like I heard somebody early in the chat talk about, it looked like he was about to Draymond Green his teammate. And like I think y'all over exaggerating. You're sensationalizing.
When it comes to Randle, it's not
narrative. I'm not saying it didn't happen. But
when it comes to Randle, it's not over exaggeration.
Every game throughout the league.
Tony, it don't. Oh man, because I don't see this. We don't see this, and I know we're not going to see him on ESPN. But Sim, this I don't see other clips circling around with players about to fight each other.
Because Knicks fans cut every single clip of any Knick that does something that they think is wrong, right? Back a couple of weeks ago, everyone was cutting, or maybe a couple months ago, everyone was cutting clips of RJ not sitting with the team. That's the reason why you see it, because Knicks fans cut these clips. Oh, look at RJ's not sitting with the team. RJ didn't stand up when so-and-so took a shot and everybody else was standing up. That's the reason why you see it.
All right, man. Yeah, I do. Oh man, Randle does this every time. He gets upset. But my thing with Randle is that
no one's saying he didn't get upset. No one saying he didn't get upset. No one's saying that. I'm saying he just wasn't gonna fight him.
Oh,
that's all I'm saying.
Are you gonna believe that? I get it.
I mean, has he fought a teammate? Have they tried to hold him back? Yes, they've been trying. Yes, that's one. See, this is what people don't understand about locker rooms, right? Everyone's gonna say, "Oh, he's trying to do this." I guarantee you, in that locker room, they have a strategy. Listen, if you see Randle doing this, we need you to go up there. We need you to help him control his temper. And they understand that he may push them away. They understand that he may argue with them.
Sim. So here's my big thing and this to me, and it affects us because one, when he did that, we was on a run.
No, we weren't. The half was over.
Okay, but we were on a run before that. And yes, he helped us with the run. Well, it was more grind. But
listen. But this is how narratives go. The run was.
It's not. It can't be a narrative if he does it.
Listen, this is how narratives go. You say we were on a run. It was the last play of the half. Then there was 15 minutes before they hit the court again. It wasn't a run anymore. Just state the facts right. It was the last play of the half. He got hit before the half. He said something to the referees. The referees didn't like what he said. He should have kept his mouth closed and just went to the locker room. After the half, they assessed him with a technical foul.
So this is the thing too. So this is my thing, and this is Randle does this. He does, and this is not no narrative. This isn't no Knicks fan cutting the clips. He does this every time he gets upset when the team tries to pull him away before the ref gives him a tech that's going to cost us points.
No one said he's not doing that. All I'm saying is I don't like when people try to push a narrative that he's trying to fight a player. I didn't say anything about if his
Sim,
technical was
Sim.
wrong.
But
His technical was wrong. I'm not saying that. I'm not saying that. But every time we turn around, someone on his team, people are trying to start narratives about somebody on his team, especially when we're playing bad.
Sim, that's like me. That's like you trying to hold me back, and I'm angry, and I'm pushing you off.
And guess what? And guess what? If you're angry, you're getting ready to go at someone, and I'm holding you back. I expect that you're probably going to push me off. I've been in a lot of those situations.
And then I do a blog, and I'm like, "Yo, Isaiah and Sin was about to fight, yo.
Right.
That jury was go.
I've been in a lot of those situations where I'm trying to hold somebody back, and they're pushing me off, and they turn to me and like, "Yo, get off me." My own brother, my own family, I've done this with. Probably 500 times, to be honest with you.
But
and never once did I think that person was trying to fight me. But anyway, go ahead. I just get tired of every single Knick, we get a narrative.
But Sim, to me, see, I can't. You keep using the word narrative. To me, it's not a narrative if he keeps doing it.
No, the narrative. No. He continues to push his teammates away. The narrative I'm talking about is him trying to fight his teammates. That's the narrative that I'm talking about. We know he pushes his teammates away. I'm not denying that. And I'm not saying that's right. What I'm saying is he's not trying to fight his teammates.
Okay. Well,
and that's a narrative.
People thought Draymond was never going to fight, but that happened.
Did you ever see Draymond push him off? No, that came from an argument in practice.
Yeah, he pushed him.
That came from an argument in. That's not this. That's not this. That's the type of stuff that. Go ahead.
It just, to me.
That's the narratives that Knicks fans start all the time.
I get it, but all I'm saying is, at the end of the day, he has to do better because.
Okay. Can I ask you a question? Can I ask you a question? Should Dylan Brooks chill out?
Yes. Dylan Brooks is an asshole. He should chill out.
Should Trae Young chill out?
Sam, I tell you, yes.
Huh?
Yes.
Yes,
He
what?
should chill out.
Chill out for what? What about De'Aaron Fox? Should De'Aaron Fox
who's
chill out?
Dylan Brooks? Dylan Brooks is nobody in his league.
Should DeMar DeRozan chill out?
When do they?
I'm just saying, all these guys got more technical fouls than Julius Randle.
Okay, now we go. Okay, Sam.
Because we talking about technical fouls, right?
Sam, why do you defend Sam? You defend Randle so crazy sometimes.
Because I'm saying people, we as Knicks fans, we look at our team, right, and we see our team in a vacuum. We see our team. Oh, this guy does this guy does that. And then when we start to look at stats in the league, we say, oh, you know what? Oh, he didn't have more turnovers than this guy and that guy. Oh, yeah, all these guys average this many turnovers, or all these guys average this many threes too. And you start to see like, oh, maybe it wasn't as what I thought it was. All those guys that I named have more technical fouls than him.
Okay, so that's fine.
16 technical fouls.
Some techs don't equal to being. Sim, come on now. Wait, hold on. See, now you're being a little kind of, because we can't talk about the refs this season being overextended. You got dudes getting a tech for talking to themselves.
Huh?
Like, people are getting texts for talking to themselves. Like,
okay,
this year, Luka got a text for talking to himself.
Okay, and Randle got a text for throwing the ball against the stanchion that you see players do every single night.
Okay, Sam, but that doesn't equal Sam. Okay,
I'm not saying that he don't need to control his anger, but I don't want to blow it out of proportion either. And
what you mean, Sam?
I don't want to blow it out of proportion either.
Blow
That's
out
what
of proportion?
I'm saying. Because
he does that himself.
Because every if any time Randle has one bad play, it gets blown out of proportion. He can have a whole season of playing well. He does one bad play.
Sam, I said this. Sam, I said this earlier on Guillermo's show. I said Randle, for 3/4 of the season, has been good.
Right, but you pointed out you pointed out. Oh,
no,
well,
but
he blew
Sim,
up.
He's doing this in crucial. Sim,
I get it. I understand.
But
But he's not the problem.
I don't know about
he's
that
not the
because he's not
problem.
playing. So he hasn't been
not the
playing
problem.
defense for a long time.
I would disagree with that, but he's not the problem.
Okay, I mean,
If you think that the Miami Heat scoring 127 points is because Randle didn't play defense alone, that's an issue.
No,
if
Sam,
you think
it's not.
the Minnesota Timberwolves
See,
scored
why do
140
you do that,
points,
Sam?
because every single time you get on here, you point out Randle. You don't talk about RJ or Brunson or anyone else. No. This is what he says, Tony. RJ. No, Tony, this is what he says. Randle got to play better defense. I know everybody else too, but Randle got to play better defense. That's what I hear every single time.
Because he's our leader on the floor.
That's what. Oh, I thought it was Brunson.
You can't have more than one leader.
I'm saying no. I mean Brunson is the guy, and he has defensive liabilities.
Okay, but see,
either I don't care. I'm not going to continue to argue about Randle because it's the same thing. This is we start losing and we got to find one person that is to blame.
Oh, I'm not doing that.
You clearly you did.
So here's the thing, Sam, and this is where all right. I guess we're doing this. Brunson is the leader, but we all know, hell, Tom Thibodeau know he can't play defense. We know that. The reason why I'm saying Randle is because Randle's supposed to be one of the guys that's supposed to cover up for Brunson. Supposed to play his man. He has been lazy. And you know he's been lazy. He misses his rotations. He doesn't step up. He doesn't guard
Everybody
his man.
on the team does.
Plenty of times. The crucial threes that they're making, that's his man.
And there's plenty of times when it's Mitch's problem. There's plenty of times when it's RJ's problem. Even Quentin Grimes. Even Emmanuel Quickly. No, you always point out one player. Every time you get on here, you point out one guy. Every time you get on here, you point out one guy. I know you come from G-Mo's show. They don't really like Randle. They get on him throughout the game, and then you come over here and want to spew whatever. I try to be objective on all players.
No, it's not something. Okay. It's not even about the G-Mo show.
It is because you just said,
I defend Randle.
What he said? Oh, I was just over there on G-Mo's show, and I just said da-da-da-da-da. I know how it goes.
Did you not hear what I just said? See, Sim, did you not hear what I just said?
I heard what you said. Oh,
I said,
you said
3/4 of the season he's been good, and they can't complain.
Right, you said 3/4 of the season he did good, but you was about to say, but I cut you off. You was about to say, but over the last few games, da-da-da-da-da.
But why? See, but Sim, why can't that? You thinking that can't correlate? His attitude, him playing shitty defense, that can't correlate to him on the court? That doesn't correlate?
First of all, don't curse on the channel. Don't curse on the channel. Keep that over on G-Mo's channel.
This guy.
All right, I don't want cursing on my channel. So keep that over there. All right. I'm not saying he's a perfect player. I just don't like it when every time, and I don't care what player it is, anytime someone spotlights a player and always says it's that person's fault, I'm going to defend them because I know it's a team sport. And it takes way more than one person for a team to lose. I'm sorry. It takes way more than one person for a team to lose. You know what I mean? So
I play team sports too. I know.
That's my issue with every time you come up. The last 4 times you've been on this show, it was all about Randle dropped 57 points. People in the chat was like, dang, the dude just dropped 57 points and Big Bubba still ain't happy.
We lost the game, I would be happy.
No, what we're talking about is him. You were talking because you started spotlighting him.
Sam,
like he didn't do no work.
Sam, how many times have I been on this show this season and I've killed RJ Barrett? It's been plenty of times.
But you don't blame him.
I do blame RJ.
Ever since
you picking and choosing because I do blame RJ.
Julius Randle's got on this
team. When RJ was going through the tough stretch, when RJ couldn't guard a rock.
Yeah, you say he's playing, he's not playing well. We need him to play better.
He's been playing well.
Right. Exactly. You say he's not playing well.
I talked about trading RJ Barrett. I would agree. I was agreeing with Johnson's season.
You say that he's not playing well.
Arguing the whole season last year about RJ Barrett. What have I said about RJ Barrett this year?
You say that he's not playing well.
We could trade RJ Barrett.
You say that he's not playing well. When it comes to some people, you place the blame.
Because he's our leader, man. He doesn't play defense. Did we get this enough of Carmelo Anthony?
I disagree.
Did we not get enough of this?
He's a much better defender than Carmelo Anthony. All right,
that's not hard to do.
See what you see. See what you see. That's fine. See what you see. I just get tired of Knicks fans doing this every single time.
But Sim, you give so much. leeway to you give so much leeway to Randle that he does this crap all the time on the court.
I cannot hold him accountable to anything. I don't give him anything. I just call it like I see it. And I try to call it objective on every player that I see on the basketball team. I have no dislike for any of the players. I like all of the players that's on the team. So I try to call it objective from the way that I see it.
Just like me.
Yeah, right. Anyway, I'm on my way to the front stoop.
Oh, man.
Okay, we got to be there at 11:30. It's 11:14. You know what I mean? And anybody that's listening to the chat that don't like it, I really don't care because, I'm going to defend the player. I'm going to defend the players on this basketball team because I support them. I'm going to hold them or say if I think Tom Thibodeau or whoever needs to hold them accountable, I'm going to say that. If I think they did something wrong, I'm going to say that. If I feel like they're doing stuff right, I'm going to say that. I don't care who it is.
You don't call out Randle, though, but it's okay.
Oh, actually, I do. You just ain't always listening.
Okay.
You're over there in a little hole over there complaining about Randle. You know what I'm saying? Complaining about Quickly or whoever else.
I complain about all of them when they're not playing well.
I try to be objective as I could be. People don't like it. People say that I'm favorite towards one player or what. Say what you want. I don't care. I'll continue to say it. You know what I'm saying? But I'm objective. I would trade any of the players for the right player. I just want the Knicks to win. You know what I'm saying? I just want the Knicks to win. That's all I'm saying. You know what I mean? That's all I'm saying. And no, I'm not wilding on G-Mo. That's my guy, but I still call it like I see it. I don't care. I still call it like I see it.
No, don't worry. We're not the Knicks. We're not Randle. Guillermo and some not going to be fighting.
I mean, according to you, because I'm saying something, I probably want to fight him.
Start the narrative.
Right, exactly. Now you're starting the narrative.
Tony, don't do that, Tony.
Now he's starting the narrative. Now Isaiah's starting the narrative that I want to fight G-Mo.
Oh, my
there
God.
You go. Now, the next time I see G-Mo, me and him going to be squaring up because you starting rumors.
I mean, he's pretty tall, too. You gotta get under the...
I go to the body.
Oh, man. So listen, I think at the end of the day, to be honest, we're both frustrated because we want the team to win. And the Knicks have just been playing piss poor defense. And they got to get better because at the end of the day, the worst thing that can happen is we get into a play-in tournament. I think that would be a big disaster, and I'm hoping it's not going to happen. I don't want that to happen. That's why these 3 days, I want them to rest. I want them to focus. I want them to reevaluate what they have to do, and just get it going and whoop it. I want them to whoop the Rockets, man. Like I said on Guillermo's show.
I want them to whoop the Rockets.
I want the Knicks to win this.
Make sure y'all go subscribe to the channel so that you can come back and tell me when Isaiah's talking about me over there. Make sure y'all go subscribe to Legion of the Knicks so you can let me know when Isaiah's talking about me.
You know I am. Next time I'm going there. No, you know what, though? I really do want this team because I think these next 2 games are crucial, man. I really do. I think I want to beat the Rockets by the third quarter. I want that game to be over by the third quarter. Midway through the third quarter, I want it to be over. And then I wanted to get ready for Miami because I think if we beat Miami, we pretty much almost got the 5th seed locked up. We should be having enough games to have that locked up. So let's get it
Listen,
done. Like
I know, but the Knicks ain't gonna make it that easy. Okay.
No, of course not.
They're not gonna make
it wouldn't be a Knicks season if it
they
did.
Ain't gonna make it that easy. They got, they gotta bring some tension. Knicks Nation been too cool for the last month and a half. Been too cool.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? They got to bring some drama.
And to be fair, I don't think we had an argument since Frank Ntilikina in the Lakers game.
I guess it was about time. It was about time. I mean, we've been on here. It's been no spice. It was about time we got into something.
Yeah, you needed a little spice, man.
We needed something. Anyway, let me get out of here, man. We got to get over to the front stoop.
Yeah, I got you.
We're doing this episode on snowfall. You know what I mean? So, you guys can join us over there on the front stoop. It's probably going to start 11:35, 11:40 now. So we're heading over there. Man, bag face for the Knicks tonight, ladies and gentlemen. Bag face for the Knicks tonight. You see what they got us doing? They got us in here battling each other. We supposed to be at peace, man. We battling each other. Bag
Shout
face
out
for
to
the
the
Knicks.
chat, man. Yo, Black is time. Check out Knicks and Bruises. I got these bags for sale coming soon.
No doubt. We out, ladies and gentlemen. Peace.
Pass the assist, you know that it's #1 show that breaks down the game. If you can't play defense, stay out my way. Dribble the ball, come down the lane. 5 seconds on the shot clock, who gon' win us the game? You wanna hear Nick updates and trade rumors? Postgame reviews, this the place you tune in. So tell a friend just to keep the ball moving. Like the page if you feeling the movement. Every game we coming to win. Give us a sub like a player that came off the bench. This is NBK, nothing but Knicks.